I'm an IFS therapist, and there is a type of IFS therapy called IFIO, Intimacy from the Inside Out. And it is how I work with couples. And I did not know that I wanted to work with couples. I thought I will just help heal the world of trauma and I'll work with individuals, and I did a lot of that. What I found was that I had a lot of individual clients who were coming to me with trauma histories that were impacting their coupled relationships. And so I am a systems thinker. Inside we have like a system. There's all these different parts of us, how I see it, different aspects. Like maybe there's a part of me that wants to move to Texas for grad school, or a part of me that wants to stay here and be close to my family. So we have internal systems and external systems as well. And so IFIO is an extension of the internal work with parts to our partner. And I have used other models of therapy working with couples, and this one again seems the most user-friendly. Like, couples are able to do this at home. We practice in session, and it does incorporate a lot, IFIO does, from other modalities that work very well. There are healing principles. And so some of the things that I do with my couples, for example, if I have a couple who comes in and they're like, we just need help with our communication. We start to talk about something, it's nothing, and then it gets really big. Or maybe it is something, it's something that just like, this behavior or something like that. But there isn't a resolution. It doesn't leave with like a sense of, oh yeah, like we really sat down together and we had this thing and it was uncomfortable, and like we're now in a new place together. And so my couples come in and they're like, how can we have conversations? And that's what I do. It's so simple. And I mean, I myself am in therapy and with my partner. So I mean, there's something about being in therapy and having another person who is not in it, who can help, that makes it just go so well for those hard conversations that we all have. And so what I work with is, so if you imagine like, here's a couple, or it could be more than two, but say we'll say a couple. So a conversation that is dysregulated, there's hyperarousal or hypoarousal, or somebody's really big energy, somebody's really, really small energy. Nothing therapeutic happens, no communication happens, there's not an exchange when people are in their protection. So what I help people, we create a safe place where people feel like they can drop their weapons, drop their protection. And when they drop their protection, they're able to see unmet needs, these tender, vulnerable parts of themselves. But they are not the vulnerable parts. They are not the protective parts. I believe that in each person, they have a heart, a seat of their wisdom, a seat of consciousness, whatever a person calls it, a place of compassion, inner wisdom, inner knowing. And from that place, when my couples are sitting in that place, I just kind of sit back and I let them have the conversation, because they can speak for their experience, their unmet needs, from an invitational place. And an invitation is much more likely to be answered than a demand. So that's what we do in couples therapy. I help each person to understand the blocks, what's between them, what's getting in the way of a heart-to-heart conversation, and create safety so each couple can put those down. And then when couples are able to see each other in this place, when couples feel seen, when they feel known, when they feel heard, in a lot of conversations that I have facilitated, witnessed, that in itself is just what needs to happen. Sometimes it's like, okay, well, what are we going to do about the house? When are we going to do the remodel? Sometimes it's that, or something far more intense than that. Sometimes it's just, I need to feel seen by you. I need to feel heard by you. I need to know that you know my experience, that you really understand me and get me. I need to feel close to you. So that's what I help clients to identify. What are the unmet core emotional needs? So that's probably not going to be house, car, whatever, but core needs. And then speaking for those. And it's much more likely needs get met when that type of conversation happens. And that's what I do with couples.